All praises to the Most High and to His only begotten Son, Mashiach, to all of Zion. Shalom. So let's talk. Now I know I say that our people are also in Africa. However, some of y'all take it to an extreme. Not all Africans are Israelites. And like in America, those that were here before were Canaanites, Hamites. Now, I'm finna expound. Don't click out yet. Bear with me. All right? Let's go. Because now we got some people turning around saying, I don't even know why I even look or read or listen to some of these people, because one thing I've noticed with Hamites, and by the way, not all Hamites are walking around with plates in their lips and those big old weird circle things in their ears and rings around their neck or titties or the rest of their body hanging out. There are some that are put together according to society standards. And yeah. So I guess I've seen some people like try to recommend some people to watch. Let me say. One thing I've seen or noticed with Hamites, especially because there's one, I forgot, I think his name is the Controversy or something. And he decided he wanted to take a stab at the Revelation thing. You know what I'm saying? If you have discernment, you can tell that some of these people ain't finna tell the truth. All right? And I ain't holding them back. If you want to do that, go on ahead, curse yourself. But then again, they were already cursed. All right? And we're going to go into that. So he wanted to do the whole horn thing, and he went into a whole different spiel. But Europe, the Europeans scattered the Most High's people. Point blank, period. And a lot of them like to try to evict or eject the slave trade out of the equation. That's what I noticed about them, because they don't have nothing to do with the slave trade. That's why I'm saying, like, be very, very careful how some of y'all are out there reaching out a little bit too much, because some of them that do disrespect us are really not our people. All right? I ain't calling no names or nothing. I'm just saying. Some of them have the hardest time letting go of the name of Jesus because they're not for you. Remember, let's remind you again, you are hated by all nations, and they show it. Right? If they're not for you, they're against you. And a lot of them don't like to mention this. And I've seen this happening a lot. Now, why I mainly push or speak about Africa and the fact that Deuteronomy 28, I'm not trying to make the Most High a liar. Some of y'all are doing that. And I realize that the reason why some do it is because they're just not our people. If you say that we were already here, you're a Hamite. Did it ever occur to you that the Native Americans went through, or like the, Trail of Tears and the slaughtering by the Europeans and what else? Now they have like their own land that might be bad land, but they got repatriation and they still get to stay together with their own people and know who is who, right? Our people, we don't get that. We really don't. We didn't get nothing. Right? We just displaced. Did it ever occur to you? Remember, Ham, or should I say Canaan, was cursed. But Ham too, if you think about it. But the curses fell on his seed. Did it ever occur to you that they're just living their cursed life? Because Most High did curse them. But even in this contaminated world, right? Al Shaitan is dealing with all of those who, basically Most High not really dealing with them. They're cursed. That's who he's dealing with. So he give them a little bit over you. Even them in their life still seem like they have it better than you. Because I've worked with Native Americans. Some of them I didn't even know they were. There was one, she had braids in her hair a lot, so I couldn't tell. I really thought she was, and because she dated a lot of black guys. And then she took out the hair, and I was like, she took out the braids, and then you saw like her hair just like whoosh, all the way down to her. It was bone straight all the way down to her ankle. But without that, I couldn't tell. She had the features, but then again, also Hamites. A lot of them still look like their original. You understand? So, you got all different types of trickeries out there. And my ancestors came on slave ships. If they're out there telling you that theirs didn't, they're probably not your people. They're out there saying they're Native Americans. This is why in Deuteronomy 23 verse 7, remember, the Most High says that Edom was your brother, and that both Edom or Esau and Ham were going to come back in the third generation. I mean, their seed, or their 3 generations basically. Because he knew that when our people were scattered, who were you scattered amongst? Huh? You're scattered amongst the Hamites. Both of them and Edom, worked together to prepare your captivity. This is why when I see some Rumpelstiltskins come around talking about, no, it's not Edom, it's Japhet. Who was raping the women? Huh? Who? This is how I'm trying to help y'all. Because not everybody has this spiritual discernment and spiritual. And I'm not saying this to brag. It's just a fact. So that y'all can know and come out of this whole nonsense about, look, these are Japhet, not Esau. And I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it anymore. But this has to go in with the topic of, if they were already here, they're not your people. Or they started out as Ham, and they procreated with the slaves, because there were parts when I think the Mexicans also helped the Africans, the slave, well, our people, basically, right? And that's what they call them. Then they, Africans, but y'all weren't Africans. You were Israelites. Where's Israel? It's North Africa. I don't care what anybody else tell you. That's why I say your enemy's working hard, putting trillions and billions of dollars to deceive you and keep you deceived. You see that the little canal or whatever they have there to try to make it look like a poor, very poor effort to make it look like it's part of the Middle East, which is what? Like, that's a direction. But it's really, Israel is at the cusp, top of North Africa. I don't care what nobody else say. When you in this world and you see how much hard they work to keep you deceived, you got to be on your P's and Q's. So back to those who keep on saying our people we are the originals of this planet. But if we're talking about coming into the new land, like the Most High said, if you aren't here and your people, you can trace them to coming back on slave. Because some of y'all want to make it look like the slave trade thing was made up, because some of y'all are so, just like with the camps, you have some, they're so against Edom that they want to constantly prove that they're lying to them. We said the devil ain't afraid to give you the truth, right? You're always playing tricks. It's not in them to give you the whole truth. They're going to try some way to contaminate it and make it a lie, or confuse you so till you yourself got the truth. Remember, hidden in plain sight. Like, they're Edom, but they find ways. People who are just bugged out their minds. They don't have the Ruach, so they can't really spiritually discern. So they're like, okay, I don't know if they paying them. I don't know if they sleeping. But most times you can tell. If somebody going so hard for these other nations. And most time it's like, if you got to go so hard for them, why don't you stay with them? Why are you bothering us? Stay with them. Let the Most High's people get it together. Because you see, even when in Mark, they talked about the two greatest commandments again. He said, your unity under the Most High is worth more than any sacrifice. It's worth more than any sacrifice. So he's telling you this. Your unity is what is detrimental to them. That's why they throwing in every single distraction. Do you ever see when they always interjecting when y'all trying to be unified? Can't have a conversation together. Sometimes you have some coons around because they scared. Somebody think that they're down with the cause. They quick snap to it, like turn on you or pretend they wasn't talking to you. They just like all of a sudden just turn and just get distracted. Typical. But anyway, back to the topic. So when in Deuteronomy 23 verse 7, he mentioned Edom and Ham. Some of y'all think Edom is just like the mastermind, just sitting back and watching and sending the heathens. You're wrong. The heathens are Edom. Deuteronomy 23 verse 7 alone trumps your nonsense about Japheth. Even if he mixed out his seed, he still stands strong. In that part, like we talk about the four horns. It's like what the Christianity or Christians they tend to call like strong men or strongholds that's holding us captive. And a lot of y'all, I see some people with a little Egyptology stuff. They they're bugged out their minds. They don't understand. If you want to claim Egyptology or Hamite, remember they're cursed. And if you read Jubilee 22, he says that basically, since y'all want to go dibbling, dabbling some things that ain't got nothing to do with you, prepare for the destruction, because that's where you're going. That's where you're going. At first, I thought, hey, because they still in their natural case, but the Most High ain't forgot. He told our people not to take no daughters from Canaan. And the thing about our people is they like to use the mistakes that our people made as if what Moses did, marrying a Canaan woman, was good, and all these other people, then they wouldn't have to give them back, and we wouldn't be here. Okay, so yeah, shoot. So some people use the whole pyramid stuff and the totem poles. And look, as we say, read Jubilee 22 as well. What does it talk about? Because they've been worshiping idols and giving sacrifices to evil spirits. Most of y'all keep like associating our people with idols, and that's not us. Our very being is to not even touch those things. So if you came into the new world and saw pyramids and structures similar to what you found in Egypt, that should give you big red flag. They are Hamites. Those are what you found in Egypt, or Canaanites. Duh. I'm sorry I had to say that, but you got some people up here like in some sinister, man, this land belonged to us. Well, you know what? First of all, some of y'all over here arguing over land. You think this land finna stand up and save you? It's just smit with madness. And some of y'all ain't even our people. Because I'm saying, if you over here still defending this nonsense that our people were here before, you are an abomination and a blasphemy to the Most High. He said his people came here on ships. And the fact that they even use a triangular shape, it's like the triangle, how they call it, the triangular slave trade, down to how even the pyramid shape. They were ready to put y'all back in slavery. Just like you got them pyramids in Egypt. Symbolism. I'm just saying. But just because y'all was seeing pyramids and idols and all kinds of nonsense, that is not our peeps. But if that's what you claiming, then hey, that's what you claiming. But some of this is what our people have been doing. You are nosy. That don't have nothing to do with you. I forgot what the dude is that people talk. Oh, but Look, I ain't calling his name because, you know, sometimes you go call names and then, you know, you send for them and then, so I ain't into that. Right? We got a whole other mission to do. And it is to wake up our people. Right? So we see who was raping the slaves, right? How many of y'all tracing DNAs back? Like, I could trace some of my DNA back to Ireland. Right? Who you tracing your DNA back to? Right? Europeans. Some of y'all. I ain't talking about all of y'all. Some of y'all are from some different places. But, so, the Most High said that their generation will re-enter. But it's not the way you think. So then, if you think Edom was just sitting back, masterminding stuff, then why is it that he would say that? It'll take 3 generations to get the pollution. Remember, we talked about the contamination of the heathens. They're no different. Right? As we say, if you're not the Most High people, you see them as heathens. They worship false gods. He also said, what did he also say? And they over there eating over graves. Jubilee 22. We're going to go through it too, so don't worry. Stay fast. Eating over graves. What do you see them do to our people? Lynch them and then have what? Picnics. Yeah, some of y'all thought that was weird. Some of y'all probably not. Right? Edom and the Hamites are very much in. But some of them, remember, they're still under curse. But the Most High stirs up the Edomites first. Some of y'all over here like, oh yeah, you know, the Native Americans, yeah, that's our peeps. No, they're not. They're Ham. Canaan, actually. And what you seeing with them, because some of y'all, they can come out into the rest of the world and still have more opportunity than you. Because only the cursed ones finna be going up in their cursed world. Until you decide to buck up and turn it back into the way it was. And by that, some of y'all are gone like, no, we were already in America. That's because you're not our people. You are Hamites. Our people need to realize you got to listen to your God. You still going through the test. Even when you run into these other strange doctrines, if they're telling you that, say, oh, okay, that's not my people. Okay, you do you and stay where you at. But then there was a point when our people, you know, procreated with the Native Americans. And then some went on, procreate with more Israelites. That's how you get, what is it, 75%. A good concentration. I think I'm just saying from the 3 generations. That's what I'm calculating, right? But 75%. Concentrate. Not no 50-50. So, that's the problem. Our people, we don't never want to stay amongst just wishy-washy. And another thing too, like with the discrepancies with, you know, y'all camps and stuff. Now, and I know we talked about this, but I got to go over it again. You know, like we talked about, they would always be like, look, we don't mess with Edom. All right, you're not finna come back in the congregation. Of course, they are telling the truth. Like I said, Al-Shaitan, he don't have a problem sending out the truth. But then you got to see the devil in the details. And then he said they would like to say, like, look, Africa is Ham. They ain't finna mess with them. However, they turn around and give you a genocidal doctrine that you could go procreate with Edom's wife or Edom's woman or Brad's woman. And y'all could go mess with Ham's woman and y'all will be fine. You can go mess with Ham. So they see what I'm saying? The tricknology of it all. They're like, yeah, you know, Edom is this and that, and the white man is this and that. Don't get me wrong. I gotta fix up that sentence because some of y'all will listen. Oh, so it's okay to go to no. That's not what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. All I'm saying is based off of their actions. wishy-washiness, and just like the devil is in the details. Then the next minute they tell you, oh yeah, but the Native Americans, those are our people, and it's okay, and we can go have children with them and the other ones. Because I'm not going to say Hispanics, because that's not really a race. They're just like the descendants of them Native Americans. Stronger the concentration, stronger the Hamites. So remember, they're cursed. So if you saw that they got all slaughtered and they went through tears of, what do you call it? The Trail of Tears. They just simply going through the curse that they went through. And the Most High ain't talking about their curse in the Bible. He's talking about your curse. So mind your business. Just sorry, I'm trying to be. But some of y'all really need a mind your business moment. Because you up in everything. Deal with this. Because as we said, the scripture says, when y'all unite, that's greater than even giving him a sacrifice. Unite under him. We said there's a challenge. Unite you and stop worrying about all these other people trying to take your attention into their business. You in a narcissistic world and it's all about them. While you the victim, you the ones underneath the worst curse, because you're underneath everybody's foot or feet, because the Most High said you're hated by all nations. So all the ham you over there shouting out, with the good hair and all that, they don't like you either. Okay? And they ain't trying to tell you the truth. A lot of them, when you listen, I forgot what that guy's name, they always try to take out the slave trade, because that don't have nothing to do with them. If that ain't telling you, giving you your answer right there, that don't have nothing to do with you. I don't know what else to tell you. And those same people who's like, nah, we ain't finna, they right, they are Edom. And they right about Ham. But the reason the Most High made the Deuteronomy 23:7 right there about Edom and Ham, because he knew who was going to rape the women and give you them little biracial babies or mamzer babies. All right, think about it. And then when you come into their land, Africa, Hamites, here, Hamites. Who else you going to be procreating with? Huh? That's why y'all have some people talking about, my grandmother was Native American. Or my mama, or my great-grandmother, we were Indians. It don't mean that you are an Israelite. If that's what you claim, then boo-boo. You was here before, you ain't us. Right? Because eventually, you're going to have to choose. Are you going to be for your people, or you going to be for somebody else who don't like you? And the Most High already said the determination. That's why he gave us the scriptures. What's finna happen to y'all who are disobedient, who love unrighteousness? Because when I said the Most High is terrible, I'm not saying this to be bad. It's like you get what you work for. If you work for wickedness, he give you that. He gives you wickedness. And it's horrible. Look at where we are. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Turned his back on us, basically, because we've been turning our backs on him. And here we are. We still got to deal with some stiff-necked, stubborn, disobedient ones who running after everybody else but their own people. And I said, this is not everybody. But I've seen this come up again. We were already here. If you was already here, you're not our people, because our God, and I know some people say it's pagan, but for y'all who don't understand, Elohim said his people were put in chains and shackles and yokes. And there is evidence over in Africa on the coast that, and even quite a lot of them, Ghana especially too, said they know and they're sorry that they sent us over here. I don't even know it's all of them, but for the most part, I think the Ivory Coast, maybe Liberia, they are sorry for what they did. So, as we said, it happened. As I said, there was another Hamite who decided he wanted to take a stab at Revelations. Not everybody is the Most High's people. But he tried it to bring his confusion, talking about, I don't even want to remember what names he gave the horns. But he took it to a whole nother level of confusion. That's what they do. But the Most High's people know who scattered them, why they scattered them, and what y'all need to do to get it together, right? Because while you scatter, even while you scattered, you can still do a lot. But just stop running up into other people's business and other people's beliefs. All right? So for everybody else, and I know somebody's still going to come up, no, it's not Edom, it's Japheth. And I know that you were sent. If you love Japheth so much, go attach to them. Right? So just to sum it up, when he talked about, why did he only mention Edom and Ham? Because they have always been our worldwide or worst slavery or oppressors. And even when we were in Egypt, or ancestors, because we still in spiritual Egypt too, they got cursed. Remember we talked about even the Hamites would be like, oh, but I have this and I, but because you're not our peeps. So that's why you're going to have lice. And that's why you're going to have issues otherwise too. Skin cancer or whatever. So that's why you have to know who is your people. Not every single person. Y'all don't worry. I ain't finna watch whatever it is that you sent me. Y'all playing. I never said every Israelite is over there. Because some of y'all over here confusing. See, the whole test is, you know your people. And then the other ones who talking about, but we ain't seen so. Look. I'm going to shut it down. For the most part. If you're relying on sight again, I know you don't believe in the Most High because you ain't seen him. And because your sin is so great, he can't even be around you or you'll be destroyed. This is why you have to have faith. You see the evidence of everything that he has done. How things, the plants grow and you don't even really have to tend to it. You have the seasons, how everything, there's so much even in nature that shows evidence of our Elohim. If you can't see it, you're just dead to this world. And well. Yeah, sometimes you got to be harsh with it. That's just a sigh of enough is enough. Really. It's like every time it's something new. If you got to rely on sight, I know either you an agent you sent, or it's not even worth the time to get into anything with you. That's why I firmly stand in the fact that Edom don't want to be Edom. I wouldn't want to be you either. Because you're the only person the Most High stand up and say he hates. That ain't no good. Because clearly, and what did he do? All in Obadiah, what did he say? That he's going to destroy you. And if your enemy, you don't want your enemy to know that, look, you were set up for destruction. So then you figure out, wait, they were created to be destroyed. They just got to push, discipline these little disobedient peeps. And some people out there talking about they don't believe that the Most High is going to just do away with 2/3. And those are, you can always find the lazy ones who ain't trying to read the Bible. They just want somebody to stuff down their throat. And that's why they will end up in a camp. Don't want to read nothing. Don't want to know nothing for themselves. Sorry. It's gotten to this point, man. You never saw when the Most High, not all of our people that got out of Egypt made it into the promised land. Go read the Bible. This is why I'm like, look, I ain't finna just like continue just giving y'all the verses. I'm trying to get you to go search for yourself. Because the more that you feed people the verses sometimes is the less that they feel motivated to go look for themselves as well. Some of them. And if you ain't motivated at all, even when you get, it's just not for you. The Ruach will wake up who he chooses. Right? So if you see somebody out there talking about they don't believe the Most High gonna sink the ship of all 2/3, if you think about it, 2/3, if it's taken out, that's more than half. That's more than half of our people. Yikes. And kind of like synonymous with the Most High always using 3. Like he says, 3 generations. That's why you're not supposed to hate Edom as your brethren. But You ain't supposed to be dealing with them either. But don't have hate in your heart for them, because they have it for you. You know you can't fight evil with evil. Only good will overcome evil. And they got a lot of it. He told you from the fact that they all hate you that they finna be destroyed. Because the Most High says, when you hate your brother, and consider that they all came from what? Shem, Ham, Japheth. So somewhere along the line we related. They finna be destroyed. Not the hatred Cain had for Abel, which was what? Deemed him a murderer. So, that was in my spirit. I was going to wait a little bit, but I got to say, did anybody see Mr. Hebrew 1? I'm despondent, man. I hope he gets his channel back. Please pray for, please pray for him. All right. So let's just reiterate it one more time. If they were here before, what they had, I think in the islands, they had like the Arawaks and the Caribs, and I bet in like parts of South America and Central America, they had like the Aztecs and the Tainos and all these other stuff. Now that you got to get a brother's credit for in the camps, right? But the other genocide is like you tell them these things, but then you go ahead and do it anyway. You see the genocide of it all. The devil is in the details. And truth be told, the Most High in Yahushua, he's coming for the son of perdition, which are the traitors. All right? The traitors. The ones who they pretend, the shepherds that were supposed to be put over us, they got this truth. Right? But they don't want to use the power, and they instead inject the lies, and over there promoting genocide. If you promote our people to go procreate with Ham, you're promoting genocide. If you go do it with Edom, you're promoting genocide. There's just no way around it. Stay with your peeps. Get out of the self-hatred. 2 greatest commandments. Love yourselves. Love your neighbor. Most of all, love the Most High. Right? Greater than any sacrifice, he says. Because he understands, and your enemies understand that they win more when you're divided. They defeat you and keep you down and despondent when you're divided. That's why some of y'all need to eject them out your conversation. Look, I'm finna talk to my brother or my sister. Stay out of it. You know, they don't like to see y'all conglomerating. You need to take back your power. We about to do another video because I didn't want to make this too long. And David and Goliath. And why the runt was the greatest to defeat Goliath. Even though the odds were against him. And how it is used towards biblical Israel. Anyway, brothers and sisters, stay strong. Right? And continue seeking righteousness. Because in the end, the Most High shows he wins. He wins, you win. Hang in there. Hang in there. With that, love always. Shalom.